Hey folks, Dan Bidondi, TruthRadioShow.com. I just want to show you something here. If you can see it with the sun, but up in the sky. Perfect X in the sky, you know. But you know, it's just a conspiracy theory. That's all it is. Conspiracy theory. That's just natural clouds that happen to form a perfect X. Happen to be in a straight line, each one. And if you can see that there. So that's just, you know, it's not chemtrails, it's natural clouds that just mysteriously formed in a perfect straight line. Look at that. Perfect straight line, and another perfect straight line crossing over. Making a nice X there, and another X over here. But yeah, that's just natural clouds, folks. Yeah, nothing to see here. Go back to sleep, drink your fluoride, take your vaccines, and make sure you double up on the vaccines at that. Eat your GMOs. Don't listen to the conspiracy theorists that GMOs are bad for you. Don't listen to conspiracy theorists when they say these are chemtrails, because these are just natural clouds that happen to do this. Natural clouds that form perfect X's and make straight lines perfectly on all ends of the spectrum. But, you know, again, never mind the bills that we're trying to introduce in Congress in 2001, the Space and Preservation Act, a bill that was supposed to prevent chemtrails from being sprayed. And that plane, I don't know if you can see it through the glare of the sun, but that plane going across, you know, it's not dissipating, because I just watched that plane go all the way over there, nothing. Now all of a sudden it's spraying the stuff out. That's just, you know, that's just smoke. That's just ice crystals that just stay in the sky like that, and nothing to see at all. Just go back to sleep, watch TV, watch your Disney Channel with the occultism being shoved in your face. Just be a good sheep. Don't ask questions. Do what you're told. Remember, anything the government says, you do, because government is God. And of course, I'm being very sarcastic, folks, and because actually a lot of people who don't, you know me that well, and new followers, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this guy's a moron." Well, that's how morons sound, okay? To believe that's nothing to be aware, you know, be upset about, nothing to be aware about. We should just shut up and not pay attention, because we're a bunch of conspiracy theorists. Because, you know, we know clouds form perfectly shaped X's in the sky and grids and everything else. We know, I mean, because, you know, that's been happening for thousands of years. You know, but I just had to be a little sarcastic about that, and, you know, it's a satire video. But anyway, folks, this is a real threat here. And 2001, it was called the Space and Preservation Act of 2001. It was HR 2977, if you want to check that in the National Archives. It's a real bill, and it mentions chemtrails in the bill. Of course, it went to the House of Representatives, and it didn't pass, because God forbid your government would not want to pollute the air. Your government would not want to cause respiratory problems, sicknesses, because in those chemicals right there, hours later from now, those are going to fall to the ground. Depleted uranium, mercury, aluminum, barium. As a list of chemicals, I can't remember all of them, but I know barium destroys your immune system, and it's very hazardous to your health, especially depleted uranium. Come on, I mean, it's been a huge uprising in cancer, respiratory problems are through the roof. Summer and winter, people getting, you never heard of that, people getting pneumonia in the middle of the summer. I mean, this is going on because of this stuff. And I used to work outside overnight, folks, and see that plane still going? And you can see, you know, starting to leave. They're grid in the sky here. And perfect example, they call it geoengineering, chemtrails for short. Chemical is called a chemical trail. And I want to explain one more time. I'm a pilot myself. I worked with the airlines, and I'm not as an airline pilot, but I am a pilot, and I worked with the airlines for over 20 years. Okay, I talked to countless captains and whatnot, and all of them will tell you that fly planes, airliners, they will tell you those are not condensation trails, known as contrails. Chemtrails are much different, folks. It's chemical trails. And contrails, condensation trails, dissipate as they go along, because it's just a vapor from the engine. And it turns to ice crystals, being at the high altitude, and it just disappears. as the plane goes along. And you can look for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Go look for yourself, and when you can see planes going across the sky, and you can see some of the trails, if they're leaving trails, dissipating, and the other ones just stay for hours on end and get wider. It's called cloud seeding. And I don't know how many of these videos I have to make to push this into people's faces, especially these ignorant people. I mean, they take it personally. Like, that can't be chemtrails. No, you're just a damn nut. You're a conspiracy theorist. Put your tinfoil hat on. And I want to let you know, that conspiracy theory thing, that was a term driven up by the CIA to try to debunk, to try to discredit whistleblowers. That's where that comes from. So don't misuse a word that you don't know what the hell it even means in the first place. Conspiracy is a very important word. I mean, people conspire every day. There's federal crimes for conspiracy. So don't think, oh, conspiracy is just not true. Conspiracy is very true. People conspired to bring the towers down. People conspired to commit acts of violence and even good stuff. You know what I mean? So know what you're talking about before you loosely throw the word out, conspiracy theorist, without even knowing what the hell you're even talking about. And theorist means it could be right, it could be wrong. It's a theory. That's what a theory is. So know what the hell you're talking about before you run your mouth. And again, HR 2977, the Space and Preservation Act. I mean, this is stuff off the top of my head. You could Google how I believe it was USA Today reported how Evergreen won a huge contract by the Department of Defense and the Air Force to provide chemicals for this very thing. Then they go on, after they denied it, they denied chemtrails being existed. Then they go on, oh, it's to block out enemy radar. Then they use the excuse, oh, it's to block out the sun for global warming. They come up with all these cockamamie excuses right on record. This is your government does, but yet they deny chemtrails when all local news, perhaps, or one time or another, reported this all over the country. Never made it to the national level, of course. Like a local NBC News would report it, and reporters would be concerned about it. They get the chemicals tested, and come to find out there's aluminum, barium inside the chemicals. But it never goes further to the national level, and it gets censored after that. So, yes, I mean, go look on YouTube, folks. And I'm not saying everything on YouTube is correct. Okay, but go look on YouTube, go look at all the local videos and reports about this stuff. I mean, there's lists of documents. And if you go to Infowars.com, I got an article. It's called Information for the Chemtrail Skeptics. They type in Dan Bidondi, Information for Chemtrail Skeptics. That's on activistpost.com and Infowars.com as well. And it has all the resources, all the government documents from the horse's mouth about this. And again, USA Today mentioned that. Several publications mentioned that. You had pilots come out to talk about this. So those morons out there, and I'm not calling people who are new to this and saying, oh, don't believe in it, because, yeah, it sounds wild-eyed. It really does. But I'm talking about the people who know the stuff, who purposely deny it to try to, oh, look at these loons talking about chemicals in the sky. Like you got some intelligence yourself, you morons. You know what I mean? It's there in plain sight, and anybody could just look up and see for themselves. And I suggest you to watch What in the World Are They Spraying and Why in the World Are They Spraying. Two great documentaries by Michael Murphy and I forgot the other guy's name. But anyway, Michael Murphy and G. Edward Griffin. I'm sorry. Great documentaries, folks. You need to watch them, and they're on YouTube and Infowars.com as well and everything. But great documentaries. And so, folks, if you get these naysayers and people call you conspiracy theorists, or just, you want to educate people about this, just simply tell them to look up.